The death of Varys in the 8th season of Game of Thrones was a disappointment to some, but the problem was the revision of George R.R.'s book years ago. Varys' arc and subsequent death in the 8th season of Game of Thrones was seen as the downfall of the character. Varys has been one of the most important and interesting characters in previous seasons of Game of Thrones. While much of the show's story centers on King's Landing, the cobwebs help drive the plot and create plenty of political intrigue. That changed when Varys died on the eve of the Game of Thrones finale, years after he left Westeros. In the end, Varys turned against Daenerys Targaryen, or rather her dragon Drogon, for the good of the kingdom, and she ended up killing him. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and also click on the notification bell to remain updated. Even actor Conleth Hill was unhappy with Varys' storyline in the last few episodes of the show, but that's not really to blame. Kevin Lannister was not a main character in either A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones, but his death was more important in A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones. In Martin's 5th book, A Dance with Dragons, Kevin is killed by Varys and his birds. During this time, Kevin acted as regent for King Tommen Baratheon, trying to stabilize the country after Cersei Lannister began to plunge the country into chaos. Thus, Varys killed Kevin, Cersei would blame Tyrion Lannister or the Tyrells for his death, the Tyrells would blame Cersei. This will lead to more chaos that could allow Varys to help Prince AegOn Targaryen ascend to the Iron Throne. Not much of that happens on HBO shows. Aegon Targaryen, the still-living eldest son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Elia Martell, was removed from Game of Thrones and Kevin was given a small role, appearing in Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 10, The Wind, and being killed as part of Cersei's explosion in September. Winter. Varys had long since parted ways at this point, and he went with Tyrion to Essos and eventually to the service of Daenerys. In some ways, it makes sense that Game of Thrones changed Varys' story and removed him from killing Kevin Lannister. This resulted in the need for more extensive changes, mainly cutting Aegon, to simplify the narrative of the existing characters. It also makes Tyrion and Varys travel companions, one of the smartest and wittiest pairings on the show. But while there are some advantages, there are also many disadvantages. Varys is on the sidelines, unable to make as much of an impact because he's far from King's Landing, and his plan to help Daenerys ascend to the Iron Throne is far less interesting overall. Not killing Kevin also puts Varys' character on the right side. He always claims to want to do what's best for the kingdom, but his exact motives and morals are often unclear, but once he starts working for Daenerys, it's less obvious. A similar situation applies to Tyrion. After killing Shae and Tywin Lannister, he starts down a darker path in the books, but the series struggles to keep him sympathetic. Varys in Game of Thrones episodes 5 to 8 the season was never quite like 1 to 4. For the character of the season, which in a sense serves as a microcosm of the show itself. Starting with the 5th season, it became more plot-driven than character-driven, and Varys went to great lengths to emphasize the impact this shift had on the series. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.